What's up, guys? How's it going? Big Cheese here with another video for you. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all the recent news we've had of Gears of War 6, the leaks, the rumors, the expectations of it, and what Gears of War 6 needs to do moving forward, in my opinion, to be a success and breathe some new life into this franchise. If you do like the video, subscribe, like, and share. Let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, a bit of a background of me as a Gears of War player. I've played through every minute of every campaign, including Gears of War Judgment. I've poured thousands and thousands of hours into the multiplayer and horde modes, whether it be the competitive side of the multiplayer or the horde modes or the Hidebusters mode, over the over the 5 games. And I am pumped to finally hear about Gears of War 6. It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years since Gears of War 5. And we've literally heard nothing about Gears of War 6, which is absolutely crazy until this last week or so, 10 days, something like that. So I'm really pumped for this. I'm on board. I'm ready. And yeah, let's talk about what we know so far and what we're looking forward to. Okay, so the first article I want to go over is from Insider Gaming. The title reads, Gears 6 could be shown this year, but people aren't ready. In the most recent episode of the Kinda Funny Xcast, the topic of Gear 6 came up, with the host Parry Lilly and its leading guest Jeff Grubb making their predictions. They both claimed that something related to Gear 6 will happen this summer, prompting many to believe that the reveal will occur during the Xbox Summer Showcase. Okay, it has to be this year. It's been 5 years since Gears of War 5 released. We've been completely in the dark about what's going on with the Gears franchise and what the next installment is, if it even is Gears 6. They might be going in a completely different way. 5 years is a long time. They could have made a decision to go in a different direction. Especially considering the player count of Gears 5 right now, which we'll talk about in a moment. The Verge's Tom Warren corroborated these claims, adding more credence to the rumors that are swirling. It was claimed that the Coalition has been working on the next Gears of War game, widely assumed to be Gears 6, for at least a year. So there's likely a good amount of meat on the bones to reveal something during the Xbox Summer Showcase, should that be the case. Now, I hope they've been working on it for longer than a year, because if they've only been working on it for a year, we're definitely not. We're talking about what, 2025, maybe a 2026 release. And this franchise needs a new installment. The fans need a new game. Okay, we need something new. So I'm hoping at the showcase, at the very least, we've got a trailer and some gameplay. If we get like a black screen, like a little bit of a cinematic, a black screen, then Gears 6 fades in. Yes, the hype train will be moving, and yes, there'll be people jumping aboard, but that's not enough. It's just not enough for me. We've been waiting 5 years. Give us something like proper juicy, like some gameplay and a cinematic trailer. Anything more than just like a title reveal, something like that. And here's the quote that's been flying around. This is the quote this is really the main quote. We got a tweet to talk about in a minute, which is quite huge. But this is the quote that's been flying around that's caused most of the hype. Speaking in a cryptic post on Reset Era, user Shinobi602 suggested that Gear 6 will come and boast mind-blowing visuals. This comment was made in response to the users fawning over screenshots of Hellblade 2. Wait until you see Gears, people aren't ready, is the quote, okay? Now, there's no further substance to that line, but given that many people believe that Gears 6 will be a truly next-gen game, another must, in my opinion, it has to be. I think a lot of teams are struggling to do cross-generation games and, make a version for the older gen consoles, and I think it's been holding us back. Personally, so the fact that most people think it's going to be a true next gen game is promising, because it just has to be. It would understandably be poised to flaunt that the full processing power of whatever hardware comes next for Xbox. Yeah, it has to happen. It has to happen. PlayStation have had a bunch of games that really have utilized their the full, not even the full potential, but like closer to the full potential of their consoles, and Xbox need that. Gear 6 needs to be truly next gen. It just has to be. Never mind this old gen nonsense. People have had enough time now to move on. And personally, I think this franchise needs to take that leap, because it's struggling right now. And before we move on from this article, this comment here from this guy Andrew Squall sums up exactly how I feel about Gears, and exactly how most people feel about Gears at the moment. People aren't ready for the exact same copy and paste animations from Gears 1 and 2 to yet another new gen iteration. They need a huge overhaul. Let's move on to the tweet before we talk about that. But that's bang on. This comment's bang on. Okay, now, so before we move on to the tweet, guys, it's a huge spoiler. If you're planning on playing the Gears of War 5 campaign through before Gears 6 drops, and you don't know what happens still, if you still managed to avoid all the spoilers. I managed to avoid all the spoilers and play it through recent, like a couple of months ago. Loved it, by the way. Yeah, but look away now just for a minute because we're going to check out this tweet. So the voice actor who plays JD in Gears 4 and 5, Liam J. McIntyre, was asked, wait, so what's happening to JD? Is his death canon? Now, he didn't give us any leaks in regards to the story, but what he did confirm, and you have to assume that this is like super credible because he is a character in the game. I have no idea. I think at Gears of War tells us all in June. Now, no one from like Microsoft or Xbox or the guys over working on Gears 5 or 6 have confirmed that Xbox are going to be talking about Gears in June. This confirms it for me. This confirms it. I don't know if this is done by mistake. I don't know if he was like, this was the plan. They were like, oh, dude, put the date out there. But he's in the loop. He has to be. So the fact that he says tells us all in June, for me, basically confirms that at the Xbox showcase this summer, we're going to get Gears of War 6 news. So now what I want to talk about is what I think Gears of War 6 has to do to be a success and stay relevant and stay alive. Because if we check out the live player count, now I know there's Gears 5 isn't the only Gears title out there. There's everything from Gears 1, 2, 3, 4, Judgment, Tactics, all that stuff. But I really doubt many people are playing those games. This is the most recent installment in the franchise, so we go off these player count, right? This is where everyone's gonna be playing multiplayer, right? So the average players for Gears 5 in the last 30 days is 269 people. The peak players is 497. That's less than 500 players peak in the last month on Gears 5. It's safe and upsetting to say that it's dead. It's dead and no one's playing this game. I jumped into the multiplayer not long ago, couldn't find a game. It was a weekday and blah blah, but I just couldn't get a game. It was taking so long I gave up, which is a bummer, but that's where we're at right now, okay? So we really need to talk about what Gears 6 needs to do to basically bring this franchise back from the dead, bring the game back from the dead, right? So first, let's talk about the campaign. Now, I don't know why they moved away from 4-player campaigns. I guess they felt they had to, but for most of the missions in Gears 5, there's 4 of you there. Granted, some of the missions, it's just Kate, Del, and Jack, the robot. And the campaign was 3-player co-op, but I think if they could move back to 4-player co-op campaigns, it would be a step. It would be a step in the right direction. It would be a positive step. The Gears 5 campaign was great. I ended up playing it through solo. But even when I did play 3-player, someone had to play as the robot, who was kind of just boring to play as. You'd run around grabbing weapons and taking them to your teammates. You had a little zapper, but it just you didn't get to play as a human. You didn't get to play as a cog. You didn't get to be taking cover and all the gritty stuff that you love about the Gears campaign. So the fact that even when they did have the 3-player option, the 3rd player had to play as the robot, and you could switch between missions about who plays as the robot. But in the end, after like 4 or 5 hours of playing through the campaign, we were all just bored of playing as the robot. We were all just bored of playing as Jack because it's not what we signed up for. We signed up to be a cog or a soldier in the army, sort of fighting against the Locust. So no one wants to play as a robot, so they definitely need to move away from that. So the current format of Gears of War 5 multiplayer is they got a team deathmatch. They got a bunch of awesome, innovative gaming modes, which I want to talk about actually. So the first one that comes to mind is Dodgeball. 2 teams of 5, 1 life. You kill someone, they're out of the game. Okay? But then if someone on that team kills someone on your team, not only are you dead, but they bring a player back in, just like in Dodgeball when you catch the ball. When they first dropped this game mode, it was just hours of fun. It was a fantastic game mode. There was Guardian. I think there's details on Guardian in here somewhere. Let's see, King of the Hill, team deathmatch, yeah, Guardian. So like in this mode, both teams have a team leader, and players will know who they are because they're plated in gold. The point of this mode is to kill the opposition team leader to win the round. When killing a non-leader, the match keeps going on, but it counts towards kills. So as long as your leader's alive, you have unlimited respawns, and the game doesn't end until you've killed the enemy leader and then killed the rest of the team once because they're on last lives. This game mode's not in any other game that I know of. Like even X-Defiant coming out now, it's team deathmatch. It's captured the flag. It's captured the area. Domination essentially. There's none of these like innovative, cool game modes anywhere. But this game's got them all, and no one's playing it. So I make it make sense. I don't understand. And then you've got the PvE game modes like Escape and Horde mode. So like for people who don't like PvP, Gears of War 5 has all these PvE modes as well. Like Escape mode is this one here. Escape mode's a new game mode to the series, and like most game modes mentioned, it's a player versus environment type of mode. In this mode, players can team up with 2 other players. Again, 3 players, not 4. It pisses me off. I don't know why. Like, just make it 4 players or 5. They gotta escape the poisonous cloud. What you do is you infiltrate like a bug hive, plant the poison bomb, and then you gotta get out it before the poison and the gas just, you know, infests the hive and kills everybody. Basically, like run away from the gas in a battle royale sort of thing. But it's 3-player co-op. There's classes, there's builds. You level up, you know, and it's awesome. And then the Horde mode's similar, defending against 50 waves of enemies, a boss every 10 waves. These PvE modes are just brilliant. They're awesome, and I don't understand why Gears isn't more popular. Like that player count we just looked at, 500 people, less than 500 peak players in the last 30 days. It's worrying because we take these digs at dev teams, like for not bringing in new game modes or bringing in something new, but then games like Gears are doing it and they're not popular, you know. And I can speak honestly about it. The engine's awesome, the graphics are awesome, the audio's awesome, all these game modes are available in game, but we're not playing it. So why is that? Why do you think it isn't? You know, let me know in the comments, because it's definitely a question that's being asked. So what does Gears 6 need to do moving forward to keep the player count up and bring new players over to the franchise? So I would say that this is going to piss a lot of people off, but there's not a lot of people playing the game. So if you get pissed off by this and you're one of the people not playing the game, what are you talking about? So you don't want the game to bring something new in? Gears 5 Battle Royale, would it work? The answer is I don't know. But I do know one thing. If Halo hadn't released and we were asking this question in the game, I'd be a bit more skeptical. But Halo, one of the most popular shooter franchises to have ever existed in the history of gaming, has died. Just completely died off. And it's because they didn't drop a Battle Royale or a looter shooter or whatever. Maybe even it's not because they didn't drop those modes, but they stuck to what they've done for the last 5 Halo games. They've stuck to the same format. And if Gears of War sticks to the same format that they've been doing, I think it too is going to be the next Gears installment will be the end of it. Because people are looking for something fresh. If they don't bring that in, it's going to be the end of it. Now, would a Gears 5 Battle Royale work? I don't know. It's got all the tools. Definitely, like, you know. There was a mission in Gears where you dropped in pods to an underground thing, so they could do that. You know, you've got the helicopters in Gears. You've got the, I can't remember what they're called, Pelicans or whatever they're called. You've got those that could drop you in. You've got the variety of weapons. There's vehicles which you've used throughout the campaigns and stuff like that. I don't know if they've got the capability to make a map big enough. I don't know if they've got the server capacity. I just don't know. But I think it's the kind of direction they've got to go in. In Gears of War Tactics, you could create a character. Like the armor, the colors, like everything. You could create a character. You could create a cog. We haven't seen that in any of the games so far. So that's something they definitely do. If you could create a character and drop into a big map and fight it out to the last squad, I think it could be absolutely epic. And there's no better time for a new Battle Royale to come out now. Like, the Battle Royale scene is in the mud. Like, we are struggling and we need a new one. So I think they could capitalize on this, and I think it could be huge for the franchise, but I also see how it could just be the final nail in the coffin as well. So it's a huge risk. Gears of War fans aren't ready for what we've got in store. If that's related purely to graphic upgrade, it's not going to be enough. That's the truth of it. I wish it wasn't the truth, but that is the truth of it. Either way, guys, we are going to find out at least the answer to some of these questions on the 9th of June with the Xbox Summer Showcase. I'll do a watch along if I'm off, so that could be fun. So, you know, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it out, and don't forget to comment in the, you know, the comment section what you guys think about Gears of War, the current state of it, what they need to do moving forward, what you want from the game, all the stuff we just talked about. Get it in the comment, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one.